In the old days when you were mining for coal and you went down with your mining team under the planet, you took a canary in a cage, and when the canary fell off the perch, that meant the air quality was going down and you better get out of there.
To the mystery of the dying birds.
There must be about 100 birds in this bag.
There are dead birds all over this Somerset County neighborhood in Franklin Township, New Jersey, on front lawns, on top of roofs, and in the street.
Now to a mystery surrounding dead birds. Health officials are trying to figure out why people are discovering feathered carcasses all over parts of Brooklyn and Queens.
Unusual for dozens of birds to turn up dead like this, but it does seem unusual because it's not something we hear about every day.
There's 11 dead birds in a yard. I'm a little worried about it.
The head of the health department in Bellingham collected 3 of the birds but did not have them tested.
The same people that make the fuel for the jets are also America's major drug manufacturers and the creators of many chemical weapons, of which fluoride is a precursor and not only has a shelf life in your body, it was highly experimented with in the German concentration camps of World War II. IG Farben built a factory at Auschwitz and made use of no less than 83,000 slave laborers. They were behind the creation of the Zyklon B used to kill them, and names such as the Rockefellers were behind IG Farben, considered too corrupt to be allowed to continue to operate due to their involvement with mass slavery and mass murder. You will find these same names behind the H1N1 vaccines.
There has to be collusion, yes, because it's all over. I don't know whether it's just Western Europe and the U.S. or because I haven't been in Asia recently, so I don't know whether they have it there. I mean, this might be just shared among friends.
Some research on FEMA concentration camps in the United States of America. I did a study on Rex 84. That's REX 84. You can go to Google and do a search on that. What was surprising to me was the amount of concentration camps we've already have in the United States. We have 3,768.
It's a partnership between selected developers building this new world order and the government using the American taxpayer dollars in order to do it. This is a map of the Wildlands Project. To explain the map, the red are areas that are to be off limits to human beings. No resource development, no human activity. If you live there, you won't. The yellow areas are the areas for major control of all human activity. If you live there, you won't.
Occupational specialty, internment resettlement specialist. This MOS plays an integral role in providing a uniform system of handling prisoners and detainees. First and always, these MPs are combat support soldiers trained to fight. Then also trained as internment resettlement specialists to control and supervise detainees, to ensure their humane treatment, and to assist them in returning to a productive life. For this job, the Army will train you to use specialized equipment to monitor activity, to conduct searches, and to inspect areas where prisoners work and live. Here, you'll train to in-process prisoners and detainees, and to brief them on their rights. In addition, you'll train to inventory and secure their property, take photographs and fingerprints, issue personal items, and assign cells. You'll train to conduct prisoner formations and roll calls, to monitor their exercise, recreation, and work areas, to prepare and maintain records, and develop written reports. After your initial entry training and advanced individual training, you'll work long hours, day or night, in a garrison or field environment, where you may practice emergency procedures, detect and confiscate contraband, and escort prisoners outside the facility. Serving in this MOS can help you transition from the military to the civilian employment sector. In the Military Police Corps, you'll be providing both combat support and law enforcement wherever you go, always upholding our motto, of the troops and for the troops. Military Occupational Specialty, Internment Resettlement Specialist.
This would hurt us and our technology to just above the missing land of the secret map from the end of the Third World. And to the people of the New World, it will be like us and our technology never existed. They will be taught, just as we were, that our remains are nothing more than the remains of stupid cavemen.
The FEMA plans to imprison American citizens have generated a lot of interest around the country in locating the potential prison camps throughout the country, such as this Amtrak facility in Beech Grove, Indiana. We're standing now in the main parking lot, which doesn't look too sinister. At this level, it is a very large parking lot, fenced on all sides by fence topped by barbed wire. It also has these electronically operated turnstiles. There is also a surveillance camera, just like we saw at the FEMA facility, pointing out to the parking lot, and a helicopter windsock. All of these apparent security measures are particularly unusual here, because this is a very low crime area, and this facility is nothing but an old train repair station with nothing in it worth stealing. In this portion of the parking lot is a brick building, suitable for processing, next to a gate that leads right out to the railroad tracks, and all of this is contained inside a fully fenced area, now 3 layers deep in fencing at this point. This U.S. Air Force train indicates federal and military involvement. This small building is the only way into a particular fenced area. Inside this building we see more of the motion-activated detectors, electronic turnstiles, and prison bars. Outside this building is fencing and a cattle run section of fence, all topped by barbed wire, pointing inward, not to keep people out, but to keep people in. This was common throughout the facility, particularly the new fencing that had been erected. Inside the fenced area on the other side of the building, you'll see signs that say Red Zone, right up next to the railroad tracks that run the length of the fenced area. Next to the Red Zone sign, you can see closely numbered markers on the fences that are too closely spaced to be parking markers, just as if they plan to have people line up to board the trains. This tower, overlooking the entire facility at one end of the facility along the railroad tracks, also has a radio antenna on it with a ladder up inside of it. It would make an excellent watchtower. Looking around, you can get an idea of how huge this place is and how many people it could contain in its fenced-in area. In yet another fenced area, we see a large warehouse building at the end, with the electronic turnstiles in front of it. The building is one that has a new concrete floor, and its doors and windows have all been blocked. Inside the facility, we found large fenced-in areas next to the railroad tracks marked Green Zone and Blue Zone, suitable for holding a lot of people.
You may not know about because it wasn't reported on in the news. It happened just before Memorial Day 2009. The Senate passed a piece of legislation that does something pretty alarming, but they did it just before the holiday weekend so that nobody would report on it. And it worked. I'm talking about torture.
This is from the Politics and Law section of CNET News. Bill would give President emergency control of Internet. This is something we've been looking for, something we've been waiting for, something we've been talking about ever since Rockefeller said that. I thought it was a mistake. I thought it was he got caught saying something he didn't want to be caught saying when he said the Internet was the biggest mistake. Period.
I've talked to people from the black race of people. Their stone tablets are at the foot of Mount Kenya. They are kept by the Kikuyu tribe.
Perched on top of us from birth to death are our owners. Our owners. They have us. They control us. They are our masters. Wake up. They're all about you. All around you.
Zeus is on the front of the Queen's carriage, and Poseidon is on the back. The symbol on top of the Queen's crown matches a symbol worn by God. The lion on their chair is the symbol of the age of the destroyer. The symbol on top of God's head matches the symbol on this crown. The symbol on the side of this crown matches the symbol worn by God. This symbol held in the hand of God matches the symbol found in Vatican Square in Rome. And this symbol held in the other hand of God matches the symbol of the water bearer, the age of the destroyer.